We have very important speakers talking on the common challenges in clinical practice. And I would request our first speaker, Dr. Anuj Maheshwari, who is the governor of ACP, to deliver his lecture. And welcome, Dr. Anuj Maheshwari, sir, please.
Thank you, Dr. Amit Kumar Das. Thank you, Dr. Anil Kumar Vermani, for giving me this invitation and making me a part of this program. Without wasting much time, I shall like to share my slides. So I shall be talking in next 15-20 minutes about the challenges being an internist. Although a number of challenges are before us and many of us knows them very well, but I have included few of very important what I found that must talk with all of you in this COVID times. So I am talking about the challenges being an internist. There has been a study about the IMA Maharashtra. It has given this inference in 2018. This study has published and it has said that doctors are living less as compared to the rest of the citizens. Doctors who help patients stay fit are dying younger as they themselves do not follow the instruction. Majority of them die due to cardiovascular disease and early malignancy. Average Indian lives up to 69 to 72 years, whereas a doctor lives only up to 55 to 59 years. And you can see this picture, and this picture tells you a lot that why doctors are dying earlier, what is the problem because of what they are facing these kinds of the challenges. So let's ask me ourselves or ask all of us to ourselves, is it passion? Is it burnout? Is it desire for money? I strictly reject the last one, but my some of the Western friends call it as a burnout. But I feel, as far as the Indian doctors are concerned, is it passion? Because they call it burnout when they see more than 10 patients. But if our Indian doctor does not see 50 patients in a day, he feels burnout. So this is the problem what lies under our majority of the challenges. And these challenges are increasing for the internist day by day. Just not because of the fundamental changes in healthcare are occurring, but also a increased volume of the medical problem because of the continuously increasing population. We are having a continuously increasing population which is so much demanding nowadays, and day by day it is becoming more and more demanding because of the Google, because of the lot of informations which are being provided by multiple agencies and multiple sources. And rise of the electronic health records has also caused temporarily engagement of many of the doctors in the documentation. Although it is helpful in the long term, it is definitely going to be of much use for all the doctors, those who will be using it after 4 years, 5 years, when they will be
मीटिंग चल रहा है इधर मेरा
moving over to the follow-up.
आईसीपी का
As of now, it is
पहुंचो
causing
हम
them
पहुंचो
engaged
लेट
in
से पहुंचे
filling up and taking up this documentation. Rising negative views of the doctors among the population. You know what is causing harm this. Rising telemedicine. It has been introduced with the COVID times. Before that, telemedicine was not allowed in India. I shall definitely be discussing in few of next slides as what telemedicine is causing challenges, posing challenges to our community. Increasing duty hours, not only in now COVID days, but otherwise also because number of the doctors are less, population proportion is much less than required. So that's why more of the doctors has to do longer duty as they should. This is another problem which is very much seen among the doctors because of what they are living 10 years lesser than the doctors, those who are not doing the smoking. The smoking is being done for a lot of reasons. We stress one of the important reasons. Sometimes it is started in the medical school also, but there is a clear-cut data that physicians who smoke cigarettes are living less as compared to those who are not smoking. Let's talk about the why all this matters. It increases the medical errors. It increases the turnover because a lot of work is left for the another day, decreases productivity, decreases patient satisfaction and retention. Physicians are likely to reduce their clinical hours. Personal, and also it causes a lot of problems like disruption to the family. Number of people goes into the depression, anxiety, substance abuse. In addition to the smoking cigarette, they also start taking gutka and other things. Divorce, although it's not so much common in Indian population because of the religious advantages, but of course the situation becomes like a divorce. And suicide is a really a very important problem for all of us, and I shall be giving you the very disappointing data about the physician suicide. 400 physicians suicide per year, and they are 2 to 3 times more than the general population. Male doctors commit suicide at a rate of the 70% higher than the professional than other professionals. Female doctors commit suicide at a rate of the 250 to 400% higher than other professionals. Over a million patients lose their physician to suicide each year. Apart from this, media is very much overactive, keeping an eye over the doctors. Now in COVID times, more vigilant for the duty hours of the doctors, whether they are sleeping or they are awakened. So we need to be more careful about the third eye, that what are we doing and who are watching us. Now, another challenge is arising in this, especially in this COVID times, that is the evidence-based medicine. We always talked about the evidence-based medicine. We have been grown up learning about the evidence-based medicine. Our peers has told us to follow the evidence-based medicine. But what is happening to the evidence-based medicine nowadays? Is it the paradigm shift or changing of our priorities? Let's talk about the year 1960 to 70 when we started changing our priorities. Our focus has started being shifted from the diseases which were growing out of the poor sanitations, which were growing out of the malnutrition, communicable diseases, infectious diseases, to the diseases which were occurring because of the affluence, inactivity, physical inactivity, tobacco, smoking, under malnutrition in the form of the obesity, and of course the diseases for the respiratory reason because of the increasing pollution. A number of things has been developed in the world for which a number of different diseases and their patterns has changed. Like we got more of the globalization, urbanization, people has got increased income. Earlier, the people were falling sick because of the poor income. Now the people are falling sick because of the good income. Aging is increased. So because of the new trends of the disease has started developing. Earlier, we were having a different kinds of the diseases. Now we are having the different kinds of the diseases. Now Alzheimer's disease has been one of the very important kind of the disease because of the continuously increasing aging. Housing, education has developed, and it has posed a different kind of the challenges to the medical healthcare system as towards the doctors, especially the internists. Unhealthy diet, tobacco use, physical inactivity, alcohol is causing high BP, obesity, diabetes, high lipid, heart attack, stroke, heart failure. A lot of things are occurring, but suddenly what happens? The COVID comes and our attention again go back to the communicable diseases from the non-communicable diseases. And now the challenge is so strong, these communicable diseases are occurring more higher risk with non-communicable diseases. So now you have to be very much updated, not only for the communicable diseases, but also towards the non-communicable diseases. There is no way for you to become a specialist for only non-communicable disease or communicable disease, any one of that. This is the biggest paradigm shift of the century. We have been grown with learning that steroids should be used as less as possible. This is not a very good thing, and we should not use till it is becomes very much mandatory, especially in the infectious diseases. It should not be used. But what is the truth? Truth is absolutely different. Nowadays in COVID, it has changed every concept. It has just distorted all the concept which has been made by the internists. In nowadays days, the study is proving that steroids becoming a holy grail for the treatment of the COVID patient, especially when they are seriously sick, and it has been mandatory. Who will believe and who could have believed in earlier days that steroid has been recommended for the recovery of the infectious disease? Really a new things which a medical world is going to learn. Let's talk about the components of the evidence-based medicine. Most of the time, we modern medicine doctors talk about the best evidence only, but we forget about the other two components, which are the patient values and preferences and clinical expertise. The first one, that is the patient values and preferences, are being exploited by most of the Babas. But why can't we include these patient values and preferences in our algorithm? Clinical expertise experience is also not being much honored in our evidence-based system. We talk about only of the evidences and only of the evidences, which is not actually true for the good medical practice. Just I am giving you this example which is coming up to us from a Western world. Most of the time, we modern medicine people say that we do not know much about the meditation, we do not know much about the yoga. But this is the example how can we generate the evidence. This is a author of this article who has done his own brain scan, and this functional brain scans of this author has been done. The baseline scan is this, which is showing, which is being done in the normal situation, a routine situation. The other one is done when he has done the meditation, after the meditation, and this is the difference between the two. The red is showing the active zone, while the black is showing the inactive zone, and you can see that when after the meditation the active zones have been increased and inactive zone has been shrinked. And this is the evidence. Why can't we generate these kinds of evidence in our modern medicine? If we can generate, definitely it will improve our trust among the people, those who care for the values and our preferences. Let's talk about the challenges of the telemedicine. Cochrane Review 2010 finds little evidence of the clinical benefits, though it has not been found any harm also. Current telemedicine guidelines say prescribing medicines without an appropriate diagnosis or provisional diagnosis will amount to a professional misconduct. But at the same time, these guidelines says that any artificial intelligence or machine learning applications is not allowed to consult on behalf of the RMP. If telemedicine consult is not considered to be adequate for clinical evaluation, patients should be called for a face-to-face consult. This onus has also been shown on the shoulder of the clinician only. If he could not make the diagnosis properly, it is also the fault of him, but we are not going to allow him appropriate instrumentation to use online. Definitely in the coming days, we are going to have more lawsuits and compensations in the professional misconduct litigations in the future days of the telemedicine after COVID. But in a country of the 1.35 billion, this telemedicine can definitely make a change. It can pass on the health benefits to the last person of the society. But we must keep remember of these two important things about the telemedicine. If we scale the telehealth system to its full potential, it will become the dominant way that outpatient medicine is rendered. So it is going to be the dominant way in the coming future when we are getting the evidence of it now. But the second part is very much important, this quote which has been given by Arthur C. Clarke. Before you become too entranced with the gorgeous gadgets and mesmerizing video displays, let me remind you that information is not knowledge. Knowledge is not wisdom, and wisdom is not foresight. Each grows out of the other, and we need all of them. So where does the solution lie? Of course, if we talk about the healthcare system, it must understand the pressures which is coming up on the physicians or internists. It should recognize the burnout, find out the ways to help physician fulfill potential and connect with patient. It should prioritize physician well-being, revamp reimbursement system to measure and reward high-quality compassionate care versus volume. But at the end of the physician, it is also very much needed to take care of the self. Technology has included in our lives too much. but everyone whosoever wants to save you, but unfortunately you are not in the computer. If we would have been in the computer, probably only one save button could have been enough to save us, but now we need to do something by ourselves to save us. Work-life balance, like family, career, health, friends, is to be balanced. Although it's not so easy to do in the life as it is to say in the CME, but the picture is showing this difficulty, but we need to make it somehow. Adequate sleep, awaken circulation and energy, exercise, and of course, take a break from the gadgets or technology. Set your boundaries. No means complete no. No is a complete sentence. It does not require justification or explanation. When your time is over, you are not supposed to see the patient. You can simply say no to keep your mind and health better. And it is the very important thing which have been told us in earlier days. I still remember and I always share this experience when I was in the medical school. One of my colleague who came late, and when he have been asked by the head of department, why did you come late? He said that I was doing the breakfast, and he have been thrown out of the class just because of the reason that the doctor who is giving more importance to the breakfast than to the patient should not become the doctor. But now I say you must give appropriate importance to your breakfast, your food. Update your knowledge and upgrade your skill. This is the most important thing. With the time, you must find a way how to do the same things in a better manner and faster manner and earlier than it was being done early and before. The problem is not only when it hurts, but hurting no longer is a bigger problem, and the same applies over to the physicians, internists also. Thank you very much for your learning. We must not forget the Lancet saying, although this has been much controversial journal nowadays, but we still should follow this saying of that. We must protect patient, but we must also find better ways to protect professionals. If we do not, medical progress will cease, particularly in controversial and distressing areas. Thank you very much for your kind listening.
Excellent presentation, Dr. Anuj Maheshwari. Particularly COVID second wave has exposed the inimical environment in which we are working. The patient and patient's attendant who are so much grateful to us at the onset of the disease when the patient is having problem. The moment something happens, he becomes inimical. And there was a video from Assam recently when a young chap, young doctor, young colleague of ours was beaten by 24 attendants. Yes, to survive in these circumstances where everything is inimical, and you have rightly given a very good cartoon where stones are one up on the other. Slight loss in the balance and we are losing the life. And this is the time to say, Pahle main tab duniya. The first example was extraordinary. Congratulations on such a brilliant disposition of this very, very important subject today. Friends, we must be concerned about ourselves. Only then we can serve the society better. Any other comment and interaction from seniors?
One thing I would like to make it here. What you said about these doctors are being beaten and patients becomes anemical. One important thing is very much required for our medical schools. In our medical schools, a 5 years curriculum, we never teach our students, even we have never been taught how to communicate with the patients and his relatives. The communication is a very important skill and art, and which is very much required to be developed by all medicos whosoever are practicing with the patient. And that is the most important thing. Yes.
Dealing with the patient, explaining the prognosis and how to deal when the patient is deteriorating. When the patient is deteriorating, we should be extra soft in our approach, and everything must be explained to the patient. And on the top of that, we must not hesitate taking help from the colleagues, security agency, and other people. Yes, Hemshankar sir.
Anuj sir has spoken very well. Two things which I have in my mind. One is that the doctors are on the losing side, and we are losing in 50% of the cases by ourselves. We do not put a focus on our health and our respectable situations in the society. And the second class is always there, like the IMA guys. You do good for the society, do good for the society. And when you are in real trouble, there is hardly someone who is going to come to your rescue. And you are beaten by the mob, as said and narrated by Dr. Sudhir Jha. So we have to take care of ourselves physically, mentally, economically, security wise, and everything taken together. And that is very, very important. As far as explanations are concerned, sympathy, empathy, they are always there. That is a part of the curriculum. That is a part of the life of a human being. But the documentation of these things are very, very important where we lack. Dr. Maheshwari, you said at the outset that unless we see 50 patients, we are not satisfied. That is very true in Indian perspectives. I agree with you. But have you ever seen the prescriptions? That how many of these 50 patients, the prescriptions are up to the mark, like a consultant. Every day we are seeing on WhatsApp groups, and particularly with the group of Incasing, that see the prescription, and MD doctor is writing like this. Or there is a jargon of prescription, all drugs, antidotes, doting, everything written on the same prescription, 10 to 12. Do you think it is needed? So we should have an introspection both ways. We must respect our own profession, our own commitments, our health, that is very, very important, our community and our society. It should
Thank you,
not be
sir.
only service above self. It
Thank you,
should be
sir.
self above service. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Umesh Khan, sir, kindly introduce the next speaker.
I just congratulate and thank Dr. Anuj Maheshwari because he has spared his time. He has got another webinar he's hosting right now for the ACP chapter. And I'll request him to kindly excuse me because I'm busy here.
Yes,
Thank you very
welcome
much.
भाई गवर्नर साहब को छोड़ दीजिए अब है ना
छोड़ दिया